What is going on, everyone? Danny G TV here. Today is the 20-year anniversary of September 11, 2001, the worst terror attack on our country. Now, of course, I was 4 years old 20 years ago. Um, the only thing I remember is probably a day or two later hearing on the radio the airport's been closed and asking my mom why. And I don't really have any memory of it in general. Um, but I know how it impacted a lot of people's lives, including mine, probably, growing up. I have a memory actually of which would be before 9/11 of saying goodbye to my uncle at the gate, like beyond the security checkpoint. That's something you have not been able to do since 9/11. Um, Now, one thing that I like to take from that day is, and like the days after, is every American just got along regardless of what your political views were, regardless of, you know, race, gender, sexuality, all that. Everyone just got along with each other. And that's something that, as of late is just not the case, because if you're on one political side, you automatically hate the other political side, and vice versa. If, you're pro vaccine, you can't stand people that are against the vaccine. If you are against the vaccine, you don't like a lot of people don't like people that are pro-vaccine. It's just, we as Americans just cannot agree to just get along, and it just sometimes just pisses me off. Like, we should all get along, because you never know what might happen. Now, of course, 9/11, 8:46 a.m. American Airlines Flight 11 from Boston to LA crashed into the North Tower of the World Trade Center, and then United Flight 175, also from Boston to LAX, crashed into the South Tower of the World Trade Center, hijacked by Al Qaeda terrorists. There's some fascinating stuff. If you listen to Betty Ong, the flight attendant on Flight 11, her phone call with the dispatchers, and of course, there's horrific audio of people in the towers and all that, and videos, and very disturbing videos. And then American Airlines Flight 77 from Dulles to Washington Dulles to LAX crashed into the Pentagon, and that's, I think, when, well, everyone knew that it was no accident after the second plane hit, but when the Pentagon was hit, everyone knew that it wasn't just going to be the World Trade Center. It could be worse. And a lot of people thought that there were going to be multiple targets attacked. And if you listen to the Howard Stern show that day, you hear multiple reports that end up not being true. Like, hey, this place is about to be attacked. There's like 8 hijacked planes, just a bunch of stuff that, didn't end up being really the case. But, it just proves how scared everyone was on that day. No one knew what was going to happen next. And then, of course, United Flight 93 from Newark, New Jersey to San Francisco was hijacked and was intended to crash into either the White House or the Capitol building. But the brave passengers on Flight 93 were able to overpower the hijackers, and they forced them to crash the plane into a field in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. And I believe right around the time when Flight 93 went down in Pennsylvania is when both towers of the World Trade Center collapsed. I think maybe the south one did first, and then the north one did. And just every American that was old enough to remember it well that day will tell you just how horrific that was, watching it on TV. And another interesting thing, I kind of have a personal story with Flight 93. Of course, I lived in the Bay Area, in the San Francisco Bay Area at that time, and I had family in the New York, New Jersey area. So both my mom and I have actually taken Flight 93 before, and I believe we actually took it in June or July of 2001, whenever we went up there. So I flew on that exact same flight. Of course, the flight Newark to San Francisco was on United Airlines. The morning flight was United Flight 93. So I flew on it on a different day. And it's just crazy to think, any of us could have been on any of those planes. Any of us could have been in the World Trade Center. Any of us could have been, on the ground by where people got killed from debris. Any of us could have been firefighters that went in to save people. And just tell your loved ones how much you love them, and you know, try to get along with someone regardless of if you have different views on them on some things. Just everyone, just love everyone, and God bless America. And it's been 20 years. It's a milestone, 2 decades, and it's crazy to think it's been 20 years too. But yeah, just everyone have a good day. Enjoy the NFL season starting tomorrow, and just peace out.